It is my pleasure to bring in my man Dan Schreiber, that is the owner and operator of WearBands, in studio here at 60 Strength. I'm McChesney Unchained on the BSN Denver Podcast Network here at 60 Strength and Fitness. WearBands is an incredible product that we've been using here at the gym for a long time. We've been a great sponsor here on McChesney Unchained. And it is a system that can take you from a zero to a hero real quick. Dan, thanks for coming in, sitting in studio, my friend. Good morning. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing well. I was excited to come in this morning and see you working out with some of your pro athletes. So I know I'm in the right place.
So look, when I say lateral athlete, it's anybody that pushes off the inside of their feet. That's really the point here. Is we want knee benders, not waist benders. We need people that are not going to false step. And in every sport, basketball, hockey, fighting, football, soccer, golf, it doesn't matter. Everybody's pushing off the inside of their feet. It's one of the things that I love about the WearBands the most is it forces dorsiflexion on your toe. There's dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, and because of the pull from the waist down, it forces your toe up, which is where we want. It forces your feet to load correctly on the inside because of the resistance on the outside of the IT band. And then I love the fact that it makes you stand erect through your core, because most people slouch pretty bad. You know, it's just the nature of the world we live in. Everybody's sitting in a chair leaning forward all day. It's hard not to do that when you get into the real world. Did that just happen by chance that all three of those things just lined up like that for WearBands, or was that in your head when you designed this? Because I'm looking at it and I'm telling you, it is the absolute perfect training tool for lateral athletes, and especially offensive and defensive linemen. There's nothing that I could put a young player in that will get the most out of them better than WearBands. Like literally nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to take all the credit for inventing this concept, because I actually purchased some of the intellectual property from the original inventor and then made some additional changes myself. But the idea was, we're about functional resistance. There's lots of functional resistance tools out there. You're using them, you're pushing them, you're pulling them. We said to ourselves, look, there's nothing out there that really allows you to move functionally like you really want to move. You're always limited to the movements based on the type of equipment you're using. We said, well, that shouldn't be. So WearBands was created to add, functional resistance in a way that you're actually moving. There's nothing out there that really allows you to move functionally like you really want to move. You're always limited to the movements based on the type of and so
sorry, that's my bad.
That's all right. And so, the idea is, yes, if you're a lateral athlete, and we also engage the foot, into the resistance chain. So if you're a lateral athlete, if you're a vertical athlete, you could be a high jumper, you could be an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, really any sport. Whatever drills you're doing to improve, that you're trying to imprint upon your athletes, the types of movements you're trying to get their brains and their muscles to do more efficiently. The idea of WearBands is just to activate more muscles, give that feedback, like you said, from your kind of posture, getting in a good posture, give that feedback and work not only your muscles, but work the whole neuromuscular system in order to move more efficiently. So if you believe in functional resistance training, and you can wear a tool that allows you to move in precisely functional patterns and add resistance, then we think you have to believe in WearBands.
So I was talking to you earlier this morning when we were watching the older guys, or all the O-line and D-line, all the pros finish. And there's an upper body component to this too, right? So that not only do you have the lower body component that is, force production off the floor and resistance training, but we do so much punch and load stuff in here. You have the upper body capability as well. You just click on the same system and all of a sudden you're being resisted from the wrist through the elbow, through the shoulder.
Well, that's right. I mean, we're trying to make a simple system that's effective. We don't want to make it so complicated, that it's difficult to use and put on. So we come up with a very simple, system that, the physics and the science behind it are, have been, validated for years. We've just created a simpler delivery system. And due to popular demand, and we get a lot of questions, when's your upper body system coming out? When's it coming out? So we've pulled the trigger on production of that, and we think early next year we're going to have an upper body system that not only allows you to work from your core to your feet, which the current system does so well, but you're also, like you said, you're going to have that punching and resistance on the upper body, and that should be out early next year. We're really excited about that.
All right, so how can they get a hold of you on Instagram and Twitter, and then the promo code that they can use to order these online, unless, of course, they want to buy them in-house here at 60, and you get a 20% discount in-house and only an $80 set of WearBands here at 60.
Right. There's lots of ways. You can find us at WearBands, WearBands, everywhere. We're WearBands on Instagram. We're WearBands on our website. You can contact me at Dan@WearBands or info@WearBands. Actually, on Twitter, we're a little different. We're called Wear Your Bands on Twitter. As far as the discounts go, anybody listening out there, feel free to use Matt's discount code, which is 60 for the same 20% off deal that we offer anybody that walks in the door.
Gotta spell that out,
as well.
folks. SIXZERO.
60, SIXZERO. And you can come to our website, wearbands.com, hit the shop button, you can see all the options. One thing to note is the system does come with 5 levels of resistance. So we created 5 levels of resistance in our system. So we think, for an $80 price, and you have 5 levels of resistance included in the system, you can really customize the system to anybody. So anybody from, we'd say, 12 years old and up, because we have different level resistance bands, we have different sizes of the system, so it's very customizable. Unlike a lot of products out there, nothing works or looks quite like WearBands, but similar products come with very limited lengths and strengths of resistance bands. So for most people, those products are either going to be too easy, they're going to be too hard, or their answers make it customizable, so anyone of any size, strength, or fitness level can benefit from the system.
Well, just think about it like this. On Saturday, we had, I think, 5 or 6 young offensive and defensive linemen, 14 to 16 years old, all in WearBands, working on technique and foundation work. Huge for them. This morning, Tara Hoffman, who's a goalie commit to Indiana State, women's soccer, in WearBands, rolling. Great for lateral athlete and force production explosion off the floor. Consequently, walk in here, we got the pros. Okay, they're all excited about getting in WearBands. So it's just a matter of, if you believe in a product like I do, and I know you do, like we do about WearBands, there's a reason we're pushing it so hard, and it's not just to make sales. That's not the way we operate at 60. Unless we believe in it and we use it, we don't push it. So WearBands is an unbelievably productive training system that I think is the future of working smart rather than just working hard. So when we have to maximize time in this room, I know that I can throw my kids in a WearBand system, and it's going to double the amount of work they have to do. It's going to force them to keep their shoulders back. It's going to force them to bend correctly. The force production off the inside of their feet is going to be correct. They're going to be forced to dorsiflex their toe. And you can run full speed and transition in these things. You can totally turn and run backwards. You can flip your hips. I've never seen the WearBands get caught up and trip anybody. And a lot of the other systems are just, they're cheap knockoffs in my opinion. And I'm telling you, WearBands are the future of force production training off the floor, in my personal opinion.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. That's the whole idea. We thought there was something missing in functional resistance training. That's why we created WearBands. You need to be able to move fast. To move fast, you need to be able to train fast. You need to be able to actually train at the speeds that you want to move in real-time situations. Doesn't matter what type of athlete you are: soccer, football, baseball, volleyball, golf, tennis. We even have a surfer that uses the system. So in order to move quickly and teach your body to move quickly, you need to be able to train quickly under resistance. And we think there's no other system out there that's really been created that allows the athlete to do that.
All right, Dan. So I'm a young athlete, or I'm the parent of a young athlete, and I've been working my ass off to try and improve day in and day out, but I plateau, and that's what most young guys do, especially with the training systems and how they don't diversify them very well. I'm huge on body weight and foot speed, and I don't think you need a gym for that. Talk about, the last thing I'll ask you here is, you can take WearBands anywhere. You've got your own bag, so you can take them on the plane and take them on a trip with you. It doesn't matter. You could literally do an entire upper and lower body workout series with just body weight and WearBands if you have the upper and lower body component, or just the lower, and I'm telling you, it will cook you and you will get a great workout that is actually putting you in position to be successful. I see a lot of people and a lot of kids just working to work. I want guys to work for a purpose, so we're trying to fix some problems. WearBands helps us fix those problems faster. So just elaborate on that a little bit, and then we'll get you out here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the advantages, the whole system itself put together weighs less than a pound. So, I'm not a scientist myself, but I've heard, people say, look, this is a no mass, all force system. It's not adding mass to your body. It's not weighted vests. It's not weighted clothing. These are things that people load up their body with, and it has a real, especially for younger athletes, can have a really negative impact on their joints. So this is a no-mass system. You put it on, it weighs nothing, but I promise you, the next morning you wake up, you're going to feel soreness like you haven't felt.
Well, and that's one thing I want to elaborate on here too. Sorry to cut you off, but the older you get and the longer you play, especially collision sports like football and fighting and hockey, not contact sports like baseball and basketball, but those guys are worn out too. The ability, for example, Cyrus Kouandjio. Okay, Cyrus is a 6'9", 325-pound tackle. He's got some knee issues because he's as big as a mountain. We're constantly trying to keep him healthy and feeling good. Last week when he was getting ready for his Bronco workout, we threw him in WearBands, and he got his legs super warmed up. He was really explosive the next day, and I know he's a great athlete, but it did help him. And just the fact that we didn't have to put him under weight, we didn't have to wear his lower body out to get him warmed up, the WearBands helped him recover or helped him get prepared faster, and it helped him limit the amount of work he had to do in order to get the job done. So again, working smart.
Yeah, it's a body-friendly system, and this is true.
Body-friendly system, perfect.
We have a lot of older athletes. We have a lot of older athletes, just older fitness consumers.
If you got a bad hip or a bad knee, the WearBands are the way to go.
Yeah, if you can't take the pounding, and you want to get your nervous system fired up quickly before a workout, you don't want to wear out your knees, wear out your hips in the process. That's another big advantage of WearBands, because it doesn't really matter. We have lots of fitness people. We have women and men that just use it to go out and train in their own fitness routines. And if you're a runner that's been running for 30 or 40 years and you can't take the pounding anymore, this is the way to add resistance without adding any external weight to your body.
All right, my man Dan Schreiber in here talking WearBands, the owner and the guy that makes the magic happen for WearBands. Give me the website one more time and how they can get a hold of you on Twitter and Instagram, D.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's wearbands.com, WearBands.com. You can reach us on Instagram. We're still a small company, so I see pretty much all the messages that come through. I'll be the one responding to you. You can contact us on our web media platform, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And Matt, I want to thank you for having us. I want to thank you for being one of the kind of early adopters of this system that understands what it can do for athletes. So we're super excited to be working with credible, knowledgeable people like yourself, and we think it's only a matter of time till WearBands becomes a household name.
I agree, brother. I think it's going to be the standard for explosive training moving forward. At least it's going to be in this room, that's for damn sure. Dan Schreiber joining us here on McChesney Unchained on the BSN Denver Podcast Network here at 60 Studios at 60 Strength. Thank you very much, Dan, and we will definitely get at you next time we talk about WearBands. Thank you, D.